All right, I was trying out new music for our webinars, and I like that one. That was like a natural break at the 33-second mark. Hey, everybody, what's happening? It is time for March's Surf Report. That is my webinars for the month. And tonight we are talking, I got dog hair on me, losing focus. Tonight we are talking keywords. That dog hair off me. Tocha, take your hair back. Keywords are one of the most important things. After a good picture, keywords are so important. And the reason I decided to do this webinar is because I see when people share the thrifting board, like, oh, here's my bolo, and they post a link to the item they sold, or the people who participate in the social media share threads, horrible keywords. Horrible. And that's not always horrible, but just totally missing. Like you get 80 characters, and I see people use like 4 or 5 words. It's crazy. And I see that all the time on eBay too. When I did a Tiki Mug, on the Tiki Mug webinars, I actually found a listing that just said Tiki Mug. That's it. 2 words. 2. You should fill it up. Today, we were doing a dress, and we had a hard time. So my assistant and I, we brainstormed and came up with some other words that we think people might search for. And that's the whole thing. When you're writing an eBay title, you should use words that people will be searching for. Don't keyword spam. I never, ever recommend doing that. Plus, it also can land you in trouble, get your listings pulled, get you in trouble. But also write it in some form of almost like a sentence. It really isn't a sentence because there's never a verb, but write it so it flows. Don't just jam words in there haphazardly. There is a flow to writing a good title. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Now, a few of you were brave and threw up your listings for better keywords. Some I couldn't use because your keywords were fine. Just a few of the items, like it is what it is. Your keywords were dead on, couldn't change any of them. And I checked a couple of the products, and some were just probably going to be slow sellers, and some weren't going to be sellers at all. But I was able to grab enough that it'll be a good little combo. Then I grabbed a few off of just eBay that are even worse. And then we have some live products here that we're going to see how you guys do who are watching and paying attention, what you would use for those keywords. So that is the webinar tonight. And look at that. We have a live studio audience. Where are you, Stace? So there's Stace. The Toach is under the desk. And that's Becky and Doug. They just flew in. And boy, are their arms tired. Thank you. I'll be here all week. So if you're a Secret Beachcomber and you happen to find yourself in Vegas, reach out to me. If I happen to be doing something, I'd love to have you come over to the house and be at the live studio audience. So, oh, the whole chat saying hello, everybody. All right. So let's, without further ado, let's get right into it. And let's start. And, I change the look of my presentations all the time. And then I found this one, and I love how it's set up. This is going to be my go-to standard now. I like the look of this presentation. All right. So I am using your names because it'd be easy enough to figure out who's who by the post. So I'm definitely not going to be scolding anyone. But since you were brave enough to throw it out there, I thought I'd give you credit for A, being brave, and B, trying different things. I know a couple of you said, hey, this is out of my wheelhouse. Thought I'd give it a try. So our first one is Keywords for Art, Liesl Greathouse. I hope I pronounced her right. So she has this really cool print by an artist named John Charbonneau. And what Liesl did was she used the words of the things she saw, which is perfectly good. And that works out really well when we're talking about Hawaiian shirts, which we'll get into. Bald eagle, skeleton, artwork, photograph, wall hanging. Okay, cool. Now, my first thought, what would I do to find more keywords is... let's Google John Charbonneau. And so I find John Charbonneau, and I see that he sells his stuff through Pippin Contemporary. So that's one thing. And the other thing, when I'm reading on Pippin Contemporary, his little blurb, he talks about anthropomorphic creatures. And we learned all about that in our Kitschy Kitchen webinar from last month, anthropomorphic. So that would be definitely a term I would use. But going one step further, I then go to Google Images and I just type in John Charbonneau and eagle, and boom, look what shows up. The name of the print. And the print is called The Archaeologist. So that when you have the artist name and you can describe something, as you can see, all I looked up was eagle. And you go to even further than that. And I was in Google Images. Make sure to be using Google Images. I find a lot of people don't ever think of Google Images, but when you're trying to figure out the words, it is not always the easiest to find it just on regular Google. When you go to the images, you'll see the picture. So as you can see, the second thing that showed up was the print that she has, and it's called The Archaeologist. So I would definitely add anthropomorphic, that word, and The Archaeologist. Because, of course, if someone is into his artwork and they're like, oh, my gosh, I love his prints called The Archaeologist, that's how they're going to search for it on eBay. Now, if you don't have the artist's name and you have a piece of art that you are describing, like she did, just what you see, sometimes there are members of the Thrifting Board and or the Secret Beach that might know the piece of art. So between the 800 some we have here and the 54,000 we have over in the Thrifting Board, there's usually somebody, it's rare that we get stumped, but there's usually somebody that'll be like, oh yeah, that's, The Archaeologist. So when we get to that point where you're stump, definitely check out and ask the group for help. Always do your due diligence. So then when you get to a dead end, that's the whole point of my groups, is to help each other. All right. Now, this was Beth Applegate, keywords for hats. And what I wanted to point out, her words are fine, but one of the most important things is here she has two hats. One of them is Arizona Charlie's, which is a casino in Vegas. It's actually two casinos. And the other one's just a generic Las Vegas hat. So your key item here is Arizona Charlie's. And Beth has Arizona Charlie's buried so deep in her title. That's what you want to lead with. You want to lead with the star of your item. If Tom Cruise is in a movie, they don't put him as the third guy on the credits. He's number one. So vintage is fine. Even a lot of two is okay to start it. But all these other descriptive words, mesh, snapback, trucker hat, Las Vegas, Arizona Charlie's, dice, those are all fine. But I would definitely lead with Arizona Charlie's and get casino in there because people look for casino stuff. And great from Jersey Jane, is it a hat or is it a cap? Depends on where you grew up. Where we grew up, we called it pop. Most other people call it soda. I still call it pop. Is it a jacket? Is it a coat? Is it a hat? Is it a cap? So when you can, work in multiple words that mean the same thing, because you never know what your customer is going to type in for the search. But I would definitely move Arizona Charlie's closer to the front. Don't bury it so deep in the title, especially with people who are shopping on their mobile and people are rocking some, iPhone 5s or 6 or a little bit smaller than like these 10s. And so they won't see the full title. And so if you've got Arizona Charlie's buried so deep, they'll never even see it. They might just scroll on by. So definitely move your important words closer to the front. But I also wanted to point out that because Beth had said, these haven't sold, I did go that extra step and I looked up Arizona Charlie's hats. And as you can see, $18, $9.99 our best offer, $19. There was 11 actives and one sold for $3.49. So Arizona Charlie's is what we call a locals casino, and it's definitely on the low rent side of locals casinos. There are some very nice locals casinos, but Arizona Charlie's isn't one of them. But it does have a catchy commercial. Arizona Charlie's Casino. So they got that going for them. But that's the kind of place that they give away this stuff free. So there's not going to be this huge demand. Like if you found something from, like, say, the Sands, which is a Vegas casino that doesn't exist anymore, then yes, people will yearn for that. They'll wax nostalgic for it. But the fact that there's two Arizona Charlie's and they're low rent locals places, not the best item. But I still think those items could sell. Just kind of rework your words a little bit. Okay, so Dennis Weddle had a vintage ashtray here, and so I was doing some digging, and what I found was what I realized was anytime there are words on your shirt, on your ashtray, on whatever your item, on your hat, they're there for a reason, and try to work as many of them into the title as possible. So Dennis chose the words that he thought were best, and he left out the word for. So he just put hot butts. And that's fine. And the way his title is, it's fine. But when I went over to WorthPoint, I did see that there was a whole bunch of these for hot butts ashtrays, risque ashtrays from back in the 50s. And so if someone loves or misses their like grandfather's for hot butts ashtray, they're going to search for hot butts. Say that many times fast. Because if, the way search works, if someone says, okay, I'm going to eBay and I'm looking up for hot butts, they won't see Dennis's listing because the word for is not in his title. So definitely got to work that in there. Now, it used to be that the word vintage and VTG search the exact same. It's not exactly the same, but it's pretty close. There is some overlap. But when I'm out of space and I need a little bit more, I will definitely shorten my word vintage to VTG, and then I can put the word for in there, for hot butts. So it's a great ashtray. The rest of the words are great: risque, nude, woman, mid-century modern. Also, you could do MCM, and that'll search the same as mid-century modern. And most people who look for mid-century modern stuff will type in MCM, so you could shorten it that way. You could get in the for hot butts, and I would even put, like, this is a weird ashtray. If you guys can see in the second picture, it's tall. It's like a weirdly tall ashtray. So maybe even put like tall ashtray. I don't know if that's a thing, but this is not your normal ashtray. Oh, my mom just showed up. She's been busy binge watching The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Thanks for tuning off Mrs. Maisel for me, Ma. All right, so this is a vintage card game. Hetty Rivers put it up there. Vintage election game plan. Election game plan. That's the name of the company. Card game political 2decks 1972. So I thought, okay, those all seem like the keywords I use. What's the problem? So I did a little searching, and the last two that sold using WorthPoint again sold for $12 and $15. So she's got it for $40. But she does have a make offer, and she's the only one that has it. But these words are fine. And I was trying to find out more about this game, and I couldn't. So I don't know how much of a demand is for this game. So sometimes you're thinking maybe I don't have the right keywords. Sometimes it's just the products. Like, your keywords are absolutely fine. People will find it if they're looking for it. Now, it is a very politically charged time right now. So people who are older might be like, oh, remember that election game we played in 1972? So, yeah, I think you're fine. I really wouldn't change anything. And I like to see you got 30-day returns. Your shipping's nice and cheap. So you got everything going for you. So that excites me. So don't worry so much about the keywords. But if you do have WorthPoint, go and look what, and I do this with eBay too, eBay solds. Go look at the other words people used. So emulate the best post you see, and take out all the words, because sometimes, like, okay, this listing has this great word I didn't think of, and this listing's got this great word. That way, because you've got all this data at your fingertips. We all have Terapeak now if you have an eBay store, so you've got a year's worth of eBay data. So use other people's listings, but be warned, some people are stupid. Just be warned that some people use words that don't belong. And every once in a while I'll catch an assistant and be like, why'd you put that word in the title? She's like, well, that's what this guy said. I go, well, that's wrong. So just make sure to be aware. All right, Tina found this kick-ass shot glass with this nude bent-over woman on it. And she hasn't done the listing yet. And so I was just kind of poking around, so I couldn't base it off what she already did because she hadn't done the listing. And Tina had thrown out the keywords in the post, and they were all good. But one thing I did look at and notice, there's a correct spelling of jadeite and an incorrect spelling, but a lot of people think the incorrect spelling is the correct spelling. So when there's a common incorrectly spelled word that is very beneficial to your listing, I absolutely put it in there, but I make it the last word in the title. So you catch all those people who don't know how to spell too well. When Dale Earnhardt Sr. died, you could spell Earnhardt about 17 different ways and come up with products. Now, of course, you wouldn't put all 17 in, but if there was a very common way that it was misspelled, I would have used that in conjunction with proper spelling. So keep in mind, if you got something that's misspelled commonly, use it. All right, so this one threw me for a loop. Now, I am usually really good with teeny bopper music. I still like teeny bopper music today. I've seen NSYNC in concert. I've seen Britney Spears in concert. I've seen Spice Girls a couple times. So I had no idea. I couldn't figure out what MMC and the Party was. And then I did a little research. MMC is the Mickey Mouse Club, and the Party was a band that had a show. And somehow that missed me totally. Totally missed me. I mean, I still have the musical taste of a 12-year-old girl for some of my music, and I don't know this at all. So I did a little digging, and although this is really cool, kind of like fan art hand painted on the denim, I was looking at the Party stuff on eBay, and there ain't a lot. And there ain't a lot, and the stuff that's there is not selling. So although this is one of the coolest pieces for that group, I don't think there's much of a demand. So the only thing I would recommend on your keywords here is, I always tell you, don't capitalize all your letters. So change all this to just capitalize the first letter in each word. When you capitalize all the letters in a word, two things happen. Anyone who's older, who's got bad vision, it's really hard to read. It's much easier to read when there's different levels of letters. So when they're all the same level, it's harder to read. And also, it's been shared with us over the years that Google does not like things that are typed in all caps. And thirdly, in online speak, all caps is shouting. So music fan, hand painted denim. So don't do that. But I think your keywords are fine. I just don't know how much of a demand there is. But I do like fan hand painted denim. That's very cool. And that's the kind of things I would use too. Oops, wrong computer. All right, let's talk Hawaiian shirt. So this is what I would call the barest of minimums for Hawaiian shirt. This is what I call the repeating floral pattern. And this shirt just took the normal hibiscus, and that's it. When you have a good brand Hawaiian shirt, Tommy Bahama, Rain Spooner, Hilo Hattie's, lead with it. When you've got like what I call a budget brand of Hawaiian shirt, Burnside, there is not one person on the face of the planet that's looking for a Burnside Hawaiian shirt. Not one. There are thousands of people looking for Rain Spooner shirts, thousands of people looking for Tommy Bahama, thousands of people looking for Hilo Hattie, but there ain't no one's like, man, I got to get that Burnside Hawaiian shirt. So I wouldn't even put that in your title. You have it, you'll have it in your item specifics, but it doesn't need to be in your title, and it definitely doesn't need to be the first word. So you got to jazz up this shirt that is not all that exciting. And so here's the words I would use. Hawaiian for sure. Hibiscus for sure. Polyester I would not put in the title. Now, you're going to have in your item specifics. The time you would put polyester in your title is the 1970s vintage shirts. They were polyester. They had the longer collars. Collectors look for those specific shirts. That rare time where people are like, yes, give me polyester. Modern shirts, they're not really all that. People are like, yes, give me polyester. They're not. So get polyester out of your title because that'll be a little bit of a turnoff. And then men's size XL, you have it in the men's category. You don't need the word men's. And I typically don't ever use a word size because XL is fine. But what I would use, Hawaiian shirt for sure. And Hawaiian shirts are not called Hawaiian shirts in Hawaii. They are called, oh, look at that. The chat's already talking about it. The chat's beating me. Aloha shirt. So here's how it works in Hawaii. Some businesses allow you to wear Aloha shirts every day. Some don't. But the ones that don't, every Friday, everybody on Friday gets to wear Aloha Friday shirts. So I would definitely put in Aloha Friday because, if you go to China, you don't order Chinese food. You just order food. So people who live in Hawaii don't search for Hawaiian shirts. They just search for Aloha shirts. So a little bit of a different. So you want to have Hawaiian shirt and Aloha shirt, Aloha Friday in there. So those are some better keywords. Putting the colors in the title, that's fine in this instance because there's not anything else to this shirt. Now, I can't tell by this picture If those buttons happen to be coconut, I would absolutely put coconut buttons in your title because that'd be way more important keywords. And if it has a matching pocket, please be a matching pocket. I don't know if this shirt is or not. Nope. Hold, please. Hold, please. Boom, there we go. Look at that. Look at that on the fly. All right. When a Hawaiian shirt has a matching pocket, that means the pocket matches up to the pattern exactly. It takes more time and more material. It makes it a little bit more expensive. But as you can see, this pocket right here, it matches up. So if that shirt has a matching pocket where the pattern lines up exactly, another thing to highlight, people will pay more for matching pockets. They pay more for coconut buttons. So instead of the generic terms like navy and beige, if it's got those two things, profile the best parts of that shirt in your title, because that's what people look for. And Marianne said, is cotton important in the title? No, it's only important when it's vintage. So people look very specifically for polyester this or cashmere that or whatever. So vintage clothing is a little bit more important in the title. Modern clothing is going to be your item specifics. You don't really need it in the title. I didn't realize I didn't have a I don't know where Debbie is. My questionnaire girl is not here. Where are you at? Hey, Steph, I know you're in the chat. Can you do my questions for me, please? I don't know where Debbie is. I didn't agree to a night off for her. All right, this is my favorite one to talk about. So Travis Barney put up this designer sweater. Now, I never heard of Ken Samudio, but I was like, dang, $800 for this sweatshirt? And that's the first thing we're going to talk about. Oops. Boo. Wrong buttons. Okay. Is it a sweater or is it a sweatshirt? It cannot be both. And so if I'm looking for a sweater and I get this, and by the looks of this, this is actually a sweatshirt, I would be very unhappy, and vice versa. If I'm looking for a sweatshirt and I get a sweater, I had an assistant once who just refused to learn the difference between the two. So it's going to be a sweatshirt or it's going to be a sweater. It cannot be both. So first thing I would do is get rid of one of those. And like I said, by the looks of it, it's a sweatshirt. This is the craziest sweatshirt I've ever seen. That whole collar is like these huge 3D flowers. It's really, really cool. So the first thing I realized is, okay, A, in our keywords, get rid of the wrong keyword. But B, and this is blowing my mind. Travis, are you here? Are you watching, Travis? Are you in live? Okay. Like I said, if there's words on the hat, words on the shirt, whatever, that's probably important. The tag, especially when it comes to designers, is super duper important. Okay, it says Ken Samudio, Bettina. I don't see Bettina anywhere in that title. Matter of fact, I looked through the item specifics to Travis. No Bettina. Now, the question is, to Travis, anyone else, why? Oh, there you are. Why don't you have, I'm glad you're here, Travis. Why don't you have Bettina in the title? When you're doing designer stuff, you know, this, I don't even know what the hell this means specifically, but I'm guessing it's a line of his. I would definitely not take out the designer. Designer for sure. You know, when you have designer stuff, you definitely want the designer in the title. Oh, you mean the word designer? Yeah. You wouldn't need the word designer. Correct. But yeah, Bettina should definitely be in the title, because people who are a fan of his line, of the Bettina line, they won't find your listing because they're going to type Bettina and yours will never come up. And so I did a little search in to see if anything else from Ken Samudio Bettina sold. And it did. This denim jacket for $400, and they spelled Bettina wrong. They decided to throw a bonus R in Bettina, so it's Bertina. But so this tells me this stuff is, people will want it. There ain't a lot of it. So the fact that this denim shirt sold for $400, and it's got some nice doodads, but man, this sweater, this is crazy. So you guys who are watching this, go look at, Ken's link. Excuse me, Ken. I don't know where that came from. The designer. Travis's link. Go look at it up close. This whole floral thing around the neck is crazy awesome. The overlay of the blue flowers and the orange background. This is just like the craziest sweatshirt I've ever seen. So crazy. So yeah. So definitely get rid of sweater and definitely get Bettina into your title. And that's the one thing that you need to fix, and you'll be off and running. Now, I don't know if you'll get more than a denim jacket, but did you have best offer? Yes, you did. Good. So yeah. So now that you see a misspelled denim jacket that got 400, you know you are in the right range. All right. So look at that. Even misspellings can make you lots of money, which is crazy. All right. So Kyan Rowe put in this surround sound receiver. And although we're not talking about pictures tonight, I did mention to him, you definitely need more light on your item, because I was trying to look at the item through his pictures and I couldn't read it too well. And so when you're looking at electronics, you're very welcome, Travis. I was like, okay, there's going to be a little bit more to this than just Sony and the model number and surround sound. But because it was so dark, I couldn't see enough in these pictures. And the reason the arrow is here, because that's a very short title. We got Sony, which you need. We got the model number, which you definitely need. And what is it? A surround sound receiver. Okay, so that's good. But what are we missing? So let's go look at someone else who listed it. Okay, so look at all these keywords. And again, go find someone else who already sold one and copy them. So it's an AM/FM stereo. That's kind of important, but what's really important, 350 watt, 5.1 channel home theater receiver. That's what you want, because there's stereo, there's 5.1, there's 7.1, and then of course the watts, they're going to be different based on the model. So some people are specifically looking for the stuff. Now, it can also be in the item specifics, but I would definitely fill your title. And the fact that this guy had no remote, he trumpeted it from the title. Kyan doesn't have a remote either. This is the time you want to put it in your title, because yes, we wrote it in the description. We put it in the see, even here, Kyan only used in his condition field. And although we're really not talking about the condition field tonight, you got to be super specific. There ain't no remote. If a piece of electronic equipment is supposed to have a remote and you don't have it, you got to let the world know you don't have it, because you will get that customer who didn't fully read your description and be like, where's the remote? But man, if you put it on Front Street and you put it in all caps, that's the rare time I'm fully in agreement with all caps. No remote really stands out in this title. So let everyone know. Now, he sold no remote for 40 bucks. That's probably about the going rate. If you had a piece of equipment that was worth 150 with a remote, and so you picked it up for, 10, 20 bucks at the thrift store, go get the remote off eBay. You can find the remotes on eBay. So if you can get the remote for like 10 bucks and it changes from like, say, a $60 item to a $100 or $120 item, absolutely go buy the remote. So they're just a little bonus tip. All right. So this was Robin Folk put up this purse here. And the first thing that caught my eye was the second word, floral. There is absolutely nothing floral on this purse. So here's an example of using a keyword that is not really specific to the item. If I'm looking for a floral purse and you come up in the search, I get angry when I'm looking for an item and wrong things come up in the search because people use the wrong words, either unknowingly, which I'm sure this was Robin's case, or on purpose just to draw eyes to it. So this is a whole little Hawaiian scene of palm trees on the beach. You could probably call it an island. So you have, purse, wood handle, handbag, basket weave, because that's the sides as a basket weave. So all of that is great. But definitely I would make sure you don't have the wrong keyword. So get rid of floral and then paint the picture a little bit more like, palm tree island. No one would bust your chops if you said Hawaiian Islands. I mean, the state of Hawaii is not going to have your listing pulled. Tropical is a great keyword. Yep. So just make sure when you write those words like floral, is there something floral on here? If not, you don't want to use that word, because you'll get the wrong eyes on your items, and then people are like, ugh, I want a floral purse because it matches my eyes. And then this was Sally's t-shirt. Creepy Clown said she had it, I think, for 2 Halloweens. I kind of like it. It is definitely a creepy clown. And, Halloween circus, there really isn't much more to use. However, what I wanted to point out is the order of the words here is not real good, because no one is looking for a Hanes t-shirt specifically. So you led with Hanes. Now, if this was a cool brand of t-shirts, just for example, say it was a Harley Davidson Halloween shirt, we would absolutely leave Harley Davidson because it's a brand that people are hunting for. No one's hunting for a Hanes shirt. And then you had 50-50, 50 polyester, 50 cotton, which everyone understands, black t-shirt. So we don't even get to the middle of the title till we get to Creepy Clown. Lead with creepy Clown, and even put Halloween and Circus a little further up. Extra large is fine, but that 4648, and I know why you put it because it's on the tag. Ain't no one searching that. So even have that in your title. So there's two keywords that happen to be numbers that could be confusing to some people. What's 4648? I've told the story a million times, but it seems very apropos here. There's a brand called Lot 29, L-O-T space the number 29. And they did a lot of Warner Brothers stuff. And so I sold a Sylvester the Cat Lot 29 t-shirt for like $19.99 free shipping. And the customer was pissed he didn't get his other 28 t-shirts. And I had to point out, it didn't say lot of 29. It said lot 29. So someone who doesn't know that that 4648 is on the extra large tag might be like, am I getting 46 or 48 t-shirts here? I know it's only $15.99, but some fool thought he was getting 29 t-shirts for me. And you had no picture of the tag because I wanted to look at the tag. If it was vintage, we talk about that. But I couldn't see the tag because there was no picture. Now, I don't normally take pictures of Hanes tags that are modern because no one cares. But if it was a vintage Hanes tag and it was a made in the USA shirt, then I would definitely talk about it. So would cosplay work for this clown shirt? Not really. Not really, because cosplay is when you dress up as something. So typically a clown wouldn't be wearing a clown shirt, a picture of a clown. If it was one of those shirts that would look like it was a clown outfit, then yeah, cosplay would work. But this would not be a thing for cosplay. But good idea. Now, if you don't know what cosplay is, I'm guessing there's some of you who don't know what cosplay is. Cosplay is when adults dress up as like characters from movies and stuff, and it's not Halloween night. So it's a Tuesday in March, and they'll go to events like Comic-Con. They'll go like to reenactments. Like, you know, we all know about like Civil War reenactments. People dress up like the Avengers and then they'll go reenact it somewhere in a park. I've run into them a couple times. So that's cosplay. So when you have items that can be used for cosplay, if you find costume type items and it's middle of March, you can still list them. Make sure you put cosplay in your title. That's a great keyword. And I'm glad you said that, Kara. That's a great keyword. But it wouldn't work for this. Okay. So Chris has this blazer. And I think this was Etsy, because definitely not eBay. So I looked up Lafette, the brand. Not a big brand, not a lot listed on eBay, not a lot sold. However, all the Lafette stuff I saw, this is the coolest thing. So it should sell. Very cool piece. But again, we have a blazer here that's tiger print, and you buried blazer all the way at the end. You got the Made in the USA, which is important. People do love Made in the USA stuff. But I always move that towards the middle to the end. And you got faux fur, which is fine too. But I would definitely do tiger print blazer and then work the rest of your title. Get your, get the important part right up in the beginning. And also, I noticed you said it was partially lined in your description, partially lined. So I probably put lined in the title or partially lined in the title. But I did notice you had no pictures of the inside showing the lining. So especially when you're saying partially, someone's going to be like, what's partially? And they're going to want to see it. So although this is not a picture webinar, I would definitely make sure to add that. Oh, Poshmark. Oh, you have it on eBay too? Did I miss that? Hold, please. I'll go look at it real quick. But it's a cool piece. It's a very cool piece. You just got to find the right person. Oh, here's what's not in your title. What size is it? Like, duh. It just hit me. There's no size in your title. So again, if you're searching for, I wear a large blazer, you're not going to come up because large is nowhere in your title. So, all right, let me hop back over to Secret Beach here. Live on the fly. We're checking out. Aha, you did have a second link. My bad, Chris. I'm so sorry. All right, let's see the pictures. Yeah, still no picture, though, of the lining. So, oh, no lining, because your listing said partial lining. Yeah, Made in the USA, tiger stripe, 3-button blazer. Yeah, I would definitely lead with tiger striped or animal print. Make it sexy. Made in the USA, although cool and searchable, ain't sexy. And I always spell out my sizes. I see you do have an M. in your eBay listing. I don't see medium in your Poshmark listing. I have never listed on Poshmark, so I don't know how it works. Maybe you don't put the size in your title. I'm assuming you do, but definitely spell out your title in your listing. Especially because sometimes people aren't looking for your specific item, but they are looking for just blazers in general, and they're a medium. So the word medium, when they're scrolling, will catch their eye quicker than just the letter M. So always spell out small, medium, and large. XL is fine for extra large because that's what people search. 2XL, 3XL are fine for the bigger sizes, but small, medium, large, always spell them out. All right. And again, back to, is this a blazer or is this a coat? I'd wear coat in it too, because some people don't go that distance to say blazer. Okay. So sometimes you got to cater to the least common denominator sometimes. All right. So that's those of you, thank you very much for participating in this webinar. It was fun to actually have you guys be part of it. Here are some tiki mugs, all sold by the same guy, that have the worst title. Let's start with the first one. So that's from Frankie's Tiki Room, where we are going tonight. Yay! But every mug from every place, especially modern, has a name. So they put Frankie's Tiki Room, Frankenstein, Tiki Farm, Tiki Mug. Okay, that's great. All those words are perfect. That's what's in the title for the one I have for sale. However, the name of the mug is Frankenstein. So you got to do a little research to find out. And every single mug has a manufacturer and a designer, and they all should be in the title because some of the designers, people collect their specific work. So this person didn't have the actual name of the mug or the designer. Now, let's go to the next mug. Tiki Farm Tiki Mug New. Whoa. So the name of that mug is He. It's He''E. I know because I'm a Tiki Mug nerd, but you would know because you would ask me and I would tell you. And then the designer, I think, was Flounder, and so that could be in the title. Definitely need more in the title. And then what's that one called? The Malikula. Yeah. So the last mug is from Frankie's. It's called the Malikula, and the inside originally was blue and now it's red. So I can't tell by the opening shot. Is this the blue one? Is it the vintage retired one? Or is it the red one? Again, when mugs come in multiple colors, this is definitely when you want to put the color in your title, because it'll be, again, people are like, I want the brown version. I want the red version. So they're going to look that way. So those are the keywords you need in your title. Oh, Debbie says have a lapu lapu for her. She's at church and forgot to tell me. So you need to tell Jesus you messed up tonight, Debbie, because now you're at church in the chat.
She's still at church?
Yes.
He knows.
He sees you, Debbie. He sees you forgot to tell me. Okay, now here's another too short of a title. So it is made by Tiki Farm. Great. It's Mihana, which is the name of the mug. And if you look at the name of that mug backwards, it spells what? Yep, Anaheim, because it's the god of the orange groves. Matte black. Now, it is matte black, but this came in no other color. So that is not important in your title. And it's orange on the inside. Not that important. Now, here's what's crazy to me. I know. Bill says, but I'm here. It's Bill. Thank you, Bill. Okay. This came with a recipe card. So here's a recipe card. And it tells you that the Mihana is the god of the orange grove. So God of Orange Grove should be in your title. But even more importantly, at the bottom, it says Kevin Kidney and Jody Daly. These are two guys that have worked together forever, and they're Disney Imagineers. So people go gaga for their stuff, whether it be their Tiki Farm stuff or the stuff they designed specifically for Disney. So here you have the card telling you who designed it. And with a quick Google search, you'd be like, oh, these guys are Disney Imagineers. So Kevin Kidney and Jody Daly and the God of the Orange Grove should be in your title. This is a mug that always sells for 100 and up. They'll probably still sell it for 100. It's a brand new listing because they do have Mihana in it, but they're missing out. Maybe someone's like, man, I love the Kevin and Jody stuff. I need to find more of it. But if they go search for Kevin and Jody, they won't see this listing. So, man, if your product comes with all the stuff, make sure you're using it. Put it in your titles. Great question from Rags. But to potential customers who are not collectors, wouldn't you want color in your title? No, because if you're not a collector, you're just looking for a tiki mug. There's no need for the color. You have eyes, right? You can see this is black. The only time color is important is when the same mug comes in multiple colors. That's the only time it's important. Or on that, you see it. Your eyes are there. Because if you're searching for the Mihana mug, you're not searching for the black Mihana mug. You're just searching for the Mihana mug. Our last name's only okay. Not on this one, Craig, because these two guys have worked together forever. Everyone knows them as Kevin Kidney and Jody Daly. So if you're looking for their stuff, you're looking for their stuff. Now, we're going to go over this example in a quick second here, but this mug is designed by Crazy Al. People know him as Crazy Al. His real name is Al Evans. You don't need Evans in the title. You just need Crazy Al. So it kind of depends on who the designer is. All right. And this is Monkey Beachcomber Tiki Mug by Tiki Farm. Okay. They got the name of the mug. And here's the only reason they got the name of the mug, because it's on the box. So that's good. But all I got to do is turn it over and it says Doug Horn. Doug Horn is the artist who did the Den of Sin logo, my home tiki bar. And he is a world-renowned tiki artist. So you definitely want that in your title, because I didn't realize this was a Doug Horn mug. And so I didn't even realize this mug was out there. And so if you want to get more eyes, Doug Horn should definitely be in the title. Okay. So I wanted to go find a t-shirt that had bad title. And this was this. I just typed in the word t-shirt. And the second one on eBay was this one. Dropkick Murphys t-shirt. For those you don't know, Dropkick Murphys are an Irish punk band from Boston. Okay, the front says, "Kiss me, I'm shit-faced." Where's that in the title? Lead with that. And then the back says, Dropkick Murphys, March 15th, 16th, 17th, St. Patrick's Day weekend, Avalon Ballroom, Boston, Massachusetts. This t-shirt has so many keywords between the front and the back that you don't even have all the space for those keywords. And the whole listing was Dropkick Murphys t-shirt. No size, no nothing. And you can absolutely use shit-faced in your title. I double-checked. There was like 800 shit-faced things on eBay right now. When there's a swear word in the item, so like if it's the title of a book, if it's on this shirt, if it's the title of a record, you can use it. You can't use swear words as descriptive words. Like you couldn't put, this sweater is shit brown. But if it's got shit-faced on it, you could absolutely use it. And yeah, this person can use more pics too. They only show the whole shirt. Does it have sleeves? I don't know. To me, it wouldn't matter because I don't normally wear sleeves. Okay, and then we're going to talk about CDs because, of course, that's what I teach all the time. Here's the problem. When you plug your barcode into eBay, their database brings all the info, which is great, and you should do it that way. However, their titles suck. So what happens is their titles have parentheses, commas, dashes. You do not want extra punctuation in your title ever, because punctuation, when you're searching online, whether it be Google, Bing, Yelp, whatever, punctuation actually tells it to stop searching, depending on what the punctuation is. So when the person who's selling this Amelie soundtrack plugged it in, it came with the square parentheses around original soundtrack. So what you got to do is you got to clean it up. Delete those. It came with a round parentheses around the CD, comma, October-2001, comma, Virgin. Delete those. The year is usually fine on CDs because sometimes there'll be multiple releases. The month it came out is never needed. They can get rid of that easily. The record label, sometime important, sometime not. But sometimes I will use the, like this says a film by Jean-Pierre Jeunet, I guess. I put that in the title too, because maybe people can't remember the name of the movie, but they're like, oh, it's by director Jean-Pierre. And so they're looking for a soundtrack. So I would definitely remove all this extra crap and put that in the title. Kara Cooper, even the fuck word to use? Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see here. I'll go to eBay and just type that word in. Nothing else. Not shirt, nothing else. And the current listings for the F word is 13,046. And solds are 3,257. The first thing that shows up is fuck it socks. All right. So yes, if the word's on it, eBay's always allowed it. But like I said, you can't use it as a descriptor. All right. So now we're gonna do a little see how you guys do. I got a little few items here. I'm gonna show you, and what would you use for the keywords. So let's start with this one, because this was someone who sold it for $24.99. This is the soundtrack to The Burbs. It was a Tom Hanks movie. I bought one in Chicago for $4. But the CD usually sells on Amazon the $100 range and definitely above $50 on eBay. So they sold it for $24.99. So first problem was they priced it too low because it was buy it now. All right, so they got Burb's original film score soundtrack, Tom Hanks. And I like Tom Hanks because he's in it. But let's see what they missed. Music composed by Jerry Goldsmith. Now, if you don't know, Jerry Goldsmith, there's like 5 composers that are like the max of composing, and Jerry's one of the top 5. So they left that out. So people will buy scores of movies they've never even seen just because they love Jerry Goldsmith's stuff. Okay, so without Jerry Goldsmith in the title, YouTube just censored Kara. No, you don't have to put fuck in the adult category. I just searched eBay. I didn't go to adult. There are 13,000 items right now with the F word and 3,257 sold. So if it is a porno about it, yes, that has to go in the adult. But I showed that shirt the other day that just says fucking across it all over. That's gonna go in the regular section. All right, so you definitely want to put Jerry Goldsmith in your title. That is huge words that are missing from this title. And what's crazy, again, look, it's written on the item. If it's written, it's probably important. Not 100% of the time, but most of the time, probably important. And these limited edition things, they'll have all these different terms. This one says limited archival pressing. So if nothing else, I would definitely put limited in the title. And usually there's a number. So this one's number 17. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show that. Oh, yeah, there it is right there. 17. Right there. Okay. So these are the kind of things. Oh, probably could have done that. There. Oh, well, there it is. So these are the kind of things you want in your title because that's how people search for it. So I hid the bottom half of this picture. Look at that. Someone put Jerry Goldsmith in the title and they got twice as much money. Twice as much. Now, here's what's crazy. They got twice as much money on January 8th. The person who sold it on March 12th, they did no research, apparently. None. Because they sold it for half. And if you look at this, you will see that Jerry Goldsmith, now this one was a different version. This was the Varice Club. This is not the one I have. I have a little bit different version. But they used the proper keywords. So the top person missed out because they weren't paying attention. Year would be important if it's there. On these weird limited edition things, they don't normally have the year. This one doesn't have the year. If it has the year, absolutely throw it up there. But if it doesn't have the year, no need. I try to find the year I want. I think I did it in a webinar not too long ago, and I couldn't find the year anywhere. Even using the online resources that I use, no one knew when the CD came out. And what they did was they used the year of the record on the back of the CD. It said 72. There were no CDs in 72. And yes, it should definitely say CD. Thank you. I didn't even notice that. The first one doesn't have CD in the title. Now, they're probably in the CD category, but people screw up sometimes and do sell similar. And if you're not paying attention and you do a sell similar, you might be in the wrong category. When we were doing the list of those of you who wanted to be part of this, one of you was in the wrong category. I said, well, this is a men's shirt. And they were like, is it a men's shirt? I go, yeah, the way it buttons, but you have it in this other clothing category. And she said, oh my gosh, I click sell similar and never pay attention to the category. So if they did a sell similar and someone was wrong the first time, it might not even be in the CD category. So definitely have CD in your title. And good catch, Marianne. I didn't even notice it didn't say CD. Whoops. I'm on punishment. I'm gonna go punish myself with a rum barrel. No, 17 of 200 if it's numbered. This was like what this 17 is. It's like this company that put this out. This is like number 17 in their series. So when it's numbered, yeah, put number of number in your title. But this one isn't a numbered one like that. It's 17 in the series from that record label. All right. So let me ask the chat. I need to list this Muppet Show lunchbox. And besides the obvious Muppet Show lunchbox, what other keywords would you use? Chat, go. And while I'm waiting for the chat, let's ask our guests. What keywords would you use besides Muppet Show and lunchbox?
I would use metal.
Okay, metal. I like that. Very good.
And then I would list some of the characters that are on there: Kermit, Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear.
Okay, so I like yep. Okay, so no.
Okay.
No, you're wrong. And here's why you're wrong. Yeah, Jersey Jane thermos, I would probably put no thermos because it is missing the thermos. But excuse me, Jim Henson for sure. But when you have a product like this, whoops, everyone has Kermit stuff, everyone's got Miss Piggy stuff, and there are so many characters on here. Pick out the second and third and fourth tier characters. Same with Disney. When you got a product that's got Tinkerbell, Mickey Mouse, and Sleepy on it, Sleepy never gets any love from the Seven Dwarfs. So you want to profile Sleepy because there's going to be a bazillion Kermit things, but this guy is called Sweetums, if you don't know. He's the big guy. And so people love Sweetums, but there's not a lot of Sweetums stuff. You are going to write Kermit and Miss Piggy and Fozzie down below, but in your title, pick the secondary characters. And as a couple people said, yeah, people love Dr. Teeth, the band. So I'll definitely put Dr. Teeth too. But yeah, I would, and I would do my research because there's this other pig and I forget her name. She's like a Miss Piggy, but she isn't. But there was another female pig and I can't remember her name. So this is when you can use your item specifics and add some custom ones and use more of these second and third and fourth tier characters because people will be like, I don't got nothing with Sweetums on it. Oh, I get this lunchbox. But most people focus on the big ones. But there's so much Kermit stuff and there's not a lot of Sweetums stuff. So yeah, between you guys and that, and yes, Statler and Waldorf are up here and they're well loved too. So yeah, definitely get them in. So yeah, good job. So between all of you, live and virtual, good job. Good job. But yeah, metal. Funny thing was, I wasn't even thinking of that. So good job. Yes, metal or plastic. Or depends how old you are. I think my mom's lunchbox was wooden. I'm gonna catch some shit for that in 2 seconds.
It was just like a sack on a pole.
In case you didn't hear Stacy, she said, "Oh no, it was a sack on a pole." Yeah, if it had Annie Sue is the pig. See, everyone knows everything. Oh, yes, thank you, Chris. Yeah, if it had the thermos, you would definitely have thermos. And thermos is the brand. It is the brand on this one, so it's a little tricky. So you got to write thermos and no thermos. So that's where this one gets a little tricky. Not every brand of lunchbox is thermos, but that one does pose a little extra problems. All right. So I'm going to show you this tiki mug. And so the important thing is many things. There is a name for this mug. Funny enough, I can't think of it off the top of my head. But as I said, on the bottom of every modern mug from Tiki Farm will be Tiki Farm and the designer. So it says, funny enough, it says Al Evans. Now, if you wrote Al Evans, that'd be fine, but the whole Tiki world knows him as Crazy Al. It's funny it doesn't say Crazy Al. It is from Hidden Harbor. It is a tiki bar in Pittsburgh. So you would put Hidden Harbor Tiki Bar, Pittsburgh. Obviously, the name of the tiki mug. And this mug is made in 4 colors now. So this is the brown version. So this is where we would definitely talk about it's brown. It's not the red. It's not the blue. It is definitely the brown. Now, Mom had a paper bag on a stick. Now, also, when you flip tiki mugs from bars, if they've got specific swizzles, get them. And so you want to put that in your title too. Other keywords you want to have because not everybody thinks to do that. I'm going to show some examples. I'll be selling some mugs from 3 Dots and a Dash coming up. And I have swizzles and a bunch of other extras thanks to the awesome bartender. So I will show you how to make a package deal and make it look better than your competition who are just selling the mug. All right. I'm going to show you this shirt. And
can I ask a question about the mug?
Nope.
Can you talk about the inside color?
Yeah. Stacy said we talk about the inside color. Yeah, there's only one inside color to this brown mug, and every other version has different inside colors. But you could mention it, but there will not be a brown with like a pink or a blue. It will always be the green on the brown ones. Okay. This says The Ventures, 30 Years of Rock and Roll. And I want to show the tag because that's important too. So, virtual audience, what kind of keywords should I be putting in this? You guys know what the Ventures are?
Beach.
You're close.
safari.
You're close.
Yes.
You're close. All right.
Keep going,
Yep.
keep going.
Jersey Jane got it. They are a surf band. They're like
Yes.
the surf band. And so, obviously, besides putting the Ventures in 30 years of rock and roll, you want surf in your title for sure. Vintage. And yes, Kara, Screen Stars Best is a vintage label. And these were made in the USA, 50-50, 50 polyester, 50 cotton. So you want that in your title because people look for these specific shirts. This is where the label's important. So you want 50-50 and Screen Stars and made in the USA. But beyond that, say we've got some some space at the end. When you're doing band stuff, if someone from the band is super famous, you can put them in the title. You know, because some bands you don't know anybody. Like I don't know anybody in Arctic Monkeys, but you all know who the original lead singer of Van Halen is David Lee Roth. So David Lee Roth is another key word. You also can take one of their best songs and put that in the title. It's not keyword spamming technically because it's their song. I mean, it's not on the shirt, obviously, but no one's going to bust your chops for that. So that's how you kind of add bonus keywords to your title. And I thrifted this at Buffalo Exchange. I traded in some stuff that didn't work. And so essentially I got this for free. I traded in crap that didn't work. And I'll probably get like $50 for this t-shirt. And it's in great shape. For being old, it's in excellent shape.
Not faded or anything.
Yeah. Is the hem double stitch or single stitch? Double.
Does that make it worth $70?
No, single would be more. Okay. So here's a Hawaiian shirt and the brand I never heard of, but man, this is an amazing shirt. It's called Paradise of the Pacific. Now, just a little side note, people, especially in the thrifting board, ask all the time, hey, Jay, what about this brand? What about this brand? So when Hawaii was on their way to becoming a state, and all suddenly we could travel there somewhat easily, 50s and 60s, there were so many small Hawaiian brands that I've never seen them all. And I've been buying and wearing and selling a Hawaiian shirt since I was 4 years old. And so people get a little bit hung up on brands. Like here's a brand of a Hawaiian shirt I had never seen till last month. So it happens all the time to those of us who are into it. So don't get too hung up. You know, some of the common ones we all know, like Hilo Hatties and stuff, but don't get too hung up thinking you got to find the exact shirt with the exact brand. Because some of these small brands, no one even knows. So they don't even know to look for it. All right. Here's our shirt. What keywords would you use? Audience, go.
Rainbow.
Rainbow, yes. Because you never see rainbows like this on a shirt, man. This is insane. So rainbow would be one of the first words I use for sure.
Pineapple.
Pineapple, very good.
Steamship.
Yep, ocean liner, because I am sure, so back in the early days, the Matson ocean liner line was the line that went to Hawaii, and all their menus are collectible. And although it doesn't say Matson, and I wouldn't use the word Matson, this is definitely probably modeled after the Matson ocean liner. But yeah, rainbow is definitely your big word there. Cruise ship, yeah, it's not really a cruise ship. It's definitely a old-timey steam liner. Rainbow pineapple plane. Yep. And that is, where's the plane?
Up on your right hand.
Oh, yeah. So that's a normal plane. If it was a seaplane, we would definitely use seaplane. And here's a bonus keywords. If you sell a Margaritaville item that has a seaplane on it, that is always Jimmy Buffett's seaplane. And his seaplane is called what?
I have no idea.
You have no idea? His seaplane is called Hemisphere Dancer. So I would always use that in anything from Margaritaville that has a seaplane on it because it's always Jimmy's seaplane.
Anything different on the front of the shirt?
It's got the art on the pocket. So very unique Hawaiian shirt. I love this. I was excited to get this. Diamond Head is not on this. You will see Diamond Head on a lot of shirts. And if you don't know what Diamond Head looks like, I'll show you. But yeah, they work Diamond Head from Oahu, Waikiki Beach into a lot of shirts. That is not Diamond Head. And lastly, oh, that was it. Yeah, 5 things. I ran out of stuff. Oh, look at that. An hour on the dot.
Oh my gosh.
Bam. But let me really quick. Let me show you Diamond Head on a Hawaiian shirt here, because that's a good point. And they're on a lot of shirts. And if you've never been to Hawaii, you probably don't know you have a Hawaiian shirt with Diamond Head on it. But it's a great keyword that people will specifically look for. Hawaiian shirt, Diamond Head. All right. So we'll pick one at random and see if they actually were right. There we go. Share. Kick that up there. Ta-da. All right. Let's click on this. So far, I don't see Diamond Head. Liars. Yeah, I don't see Diamond Head on that shirt. So still good lessons about keywords. Don't use it if it ain't there. That's not Diamond Head. That's Diamond Head. There we go. Just because it's a mountain doesn't mean it's Diamond Head. It's a very specific look. That's Diamond Head right there. That's a crater. And then this whole thing is Waikiki Beach. It's a volcanic crater on the edge of Honolulu.
And look at their title.
So they went with historic buildings. Now, but that's a great thing though. All those historic buildings have names. So if you don't know what they are, ask someone who does. But just to show you, if you've never seen Diamond Head like in real life, I'll show you what it looks like. So from the top, it looks like that, but from the side, it looks like that. So any shot you see of Waikiki, Honolulu, old, new, whatever, you're always going to see Diamond Head in the background. So Stacy and I, and my mom and dad, and a bunch of us have hiked to the top of Diamond Head. So, but that's a good key selling point. Great keywords. No, Diamond Head's not the brand. Diamond Head is that crater. So it was a military installation back during the war. And now it's just a place to hike up to the top. And the kind of warning is going to be a little hard and like bring water. And as we're going up, we're passing old ladies coming down in flip-flops. I'm like, it cannot be that hard. Old ladies in flip-flops. Loreline was the name of the liner. Oh, thanks, Mom. All right, so there we go. That is our webinar on keywords. I really want you to concentrate on your keywords. Great pictures, which you've already done a webinar on, and keywords are the top two things to get your items found and sold. So if you don't have good ones, if you don't have the right ones, if you're using ones that don't apply, you're not going to sell your items or you're going to have angry customers. Because I can't tell you, when I look up tiki things and I find things that aren't tiki, and I can tell the difference between people who don't know the difference or people who are just throwing words in to get more eyes on it. It angers me, and I will never buy from you if I can tell you're just keyword spamming to get more eyes on it. So don't ever do that. So Jersey Jane's doing Foo Fighters keywords, break a leg when he fell off the stage. That's funny. I like that, Jane. All right. So thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. The guest webinar this month will be one of the lifeguards, Andrew. Andrew specializes in going to the bins, the by the pound bins. So if you're afraid, if you've never gone, there are tips and tricks. So we're going to talk about that. And he's there routinely, daily, weekly. And so he's kind of up to date on what's happened. I've been in the bins in a little while, even though I have a few here. So he's going to tell us all about the ins and outs, top to bottom, and I'll have my 2 cents. And then we'll ask Stacy what she thought of the one and only time she ever went to the bins. She goes, "Is this normal?" I go, because if you've never been, we'll definitely talk about it. But I had her stand back, and then the feeding frenzy started, and I was in it, and I looked down at her, and she was like, she's like, "Is this normal?" I go, "Oh yeah,
I don't need anything that bad."
Yeah, happens all day, every day like this. So yes, and you're right. Some bins are better than others. So that'll be coming up the next week and a half. So with that, thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Make sure to check out everything in the Secret Beach and the Thrifting Board. I got classes coming up. We got the Secret Beach Cruise. We got a great show on Thrifty Business this week. My buddy Dave was bankrupt 6 years ago, and since then he sold $2 million on eBay in 6 years, and he's doing about $1,000 a day. So he went from living in his mom's basement to doing $1,000 a day. So tune in. He's got a great story. He flips cell phones. You might never flip a cell phone, but you can always apply things from successful sellers to what you specialize in. So make sure you tune in. It's going to be a great show. Plus, we didn't do our scores and duds last week, so we got an overabundance of good stuff to share with you guys this week. And I'll be sharing my Chicago story this week.
Ooh.
Find out why I was in court. All right, everybody. I'll see you on Thursday. We're going to drink rum. Bye. Bye, audience.
Bye.